Welcome to another tutorial of ProfLearn YouTube channel. In this particular video, we're going to have discuss how do you perform synthetic division compared to long division. So I'm going to take you through how to do synthetic division and how you can be able to use it to work out question involving factor and remainder theorem. So to begin with, I'll show you and take you through how you can be able to use synthetic division to divide expressions like this. Now, the first thing that we need to identify is that when you are doing synthetic division, we are going to draw this symbol like this. We are going to take the constants that appear in each of the terms here together with their signs. So we are going to take the first term to be 3. This one will be -1. And this one will be -12, and then we shall have +4 there. This expression that we are going to divide, you are going to say x minus 2 is equals to 0, therefore x is equals to 2. So this 2, you are going to write it outside here. Are we together? So at that point, I'll expect you to pull this 3 down. We write it at this point. Then now we begin. 2 times 3 will give us 6. We write our 6 here. Then we add these two numbers together. -1 plus 6 will give us +5. Again, 2 times 5 will give us 10. And then now we add these two numbers, which is going to give us -2 at that given point. Once we have -2, again 2 times -2, we get the answer we shall write here, and that is going to be -4. Then you can see now if we add 4 times 4 plus -4, that one is going to become 0. So meaning that if you get 0 at this last point, it means that this value that we have here, this expression x minus 2 is a factor of the expression that we are having. If you are asked to say the answer you get when you divide this, we are going to say this is going to be 3x, and that is coming from where? X cubed divided by x. Now if you are asked to state what's the answer when this is divided by this, you are going to ask yourself, what is x cubed divided by x? X squared. So we are going to say our answer is going to be 3x squared. The second term will be x squared divided by x. We are going to get x. Then we shall say that is plus 5x. And then x 12x, that is x divided by x. That's going to be what? 1. X divided by x is going to be 1, and a constant, then that is going to be -2. So this is the answer you get when this expression is divided by this. Moving to the second one here, of course we start by drawing the symbol for synthetic division like that, and then we shall now pick the constant that appears, the coefficient that appears, the coefficient that appears in each of the term. The first coefficient is 1, the second coefficient is 5, the third is 7, and then we have finally 2. Then we take what's at the denominator or what's divided. We say x plus 2 is equals to 0, x is equals to -2. So -2 is the one that we are going to put at this point. Next, what we are going to do is to take this number, first term number down. That's going to be 1. -2 times 1 will be -2. We write it here. This plus this would be +3, and -2 times +3 is going to give us -6. We write -6 here. Then we add the two numbers, which is going to be 1. Then negative 2 times 1 going to give us negative 2. So we write negative 2 here. So if you add these two numbers, you get what? 0. So this term we have here is a 0, which means that this is a factor. X plus 2 is a factor. But if we could not get 0, if we got a different number, a value here, not 0, then we could conclude that this is not a factor. So if you are writing what's the answer when this is divided, if we are writing the answer, what will we write as the answer when this is divided by this? We are going to say x cubed divided by x is going to give us x squared. So it will be 1x squared plus 3x plus the last term is 1, which is a constant. So this is the answer when this is divided. Now, some scenarios you may not get 0 as the final stage there. Let's look at this expression we have here. We are going to pick and say we shall write and draw the symbol for synthetic division. We pick the first coefficient here is 3. This is 7 and negative 20. Then the number we shall put here is negative 5. So we now start, and this is going to be, we shall take 3 down. This will be negative 5 times 3 will give us negative 15. 7 plus negative 15, that is going to give us negative 8. Negative 8, right? Negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 5 times negative 8 is going to give us positive 40. So we shall write 40 here. Then if we add the two, we are going to get our final answers 20. So meaning this expression, this one here is not a factor of this polynomial that we are having at that given point. So if we are writing the answer to that, what are we going to say? The answer is going to be, this is 3, so it will be 3x, because x divided by x squared is going to be just x, and x divided by this x, we are going to get a constant term, and our constant term is negative 8, then plus 20 over x plus 5. So that is the final answer we shall get if we divide x squared plus 7x minus 20 over x plus 5. That's exactly what we are going to get. So the next part we want to see, how can you be able to use synthetic division in order to work out a question whereby you are told that this is a factor to this polynomial, and also when this polynomial is divided by x plus 3, you get the remainder negative 5. So at the first thing that we are going to do is to identify that x minus 2 is equals to 0. Then we can take it on the other side. We are going to get our x equals to 2. So we shall write 2 at this point and write the coefficient of each of the term here. The first coefficient will be 1. We shall have a, we shall have b, and then we shall have 6 at the other end. Then since now this is a factor, then we know that this point we are going to have 0. Because we know is a factor, the last term is going to give us a 0, a 0, a 0, a 0, like that. Then we're going to take this down. We shall have 1 here. 2 times 1 will give us 2. Then we shall write 2 at that point. Then we add these two numbers that we have here. So this will be a plus 2. Again, 2 times a plus 2 will give us 2a plus 4. If we add this together, we are going to get 2a plus b plus 4. Again, 2 times this, we are going to have what? We are going to have 4a plus 2a plus 8. 4a plus 2b plus 8. If we multiply this and this, we're going to get 4a plus 2b plus 2. We are going to say that if we multiply 2 times 2a, we're going to get 4a. We get here 2b, and this one is going to give us 8. Then from this point, we know what we're going to do. We're going to add this number plus this expression. The answer should be 0. So we can say this is 4a plus 2b plus 8 plus 6. Our answer must be 0. So that is 4a plus 2b is equals to negative 14. And that is our equation number 1. The second equation is going to arise from where? Our second equation is going to arise from the second information provided. And we are going to say as well that if our expression x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 6, if it's divided by x plus 3, then the remainder is going to be negative 15. And still, let us just use synthetic division, and out here we're going to write negative 3. Let's pick the constants here, and the constants are going to be 1, this is going to be a, this is going to be b, and then we have our 6 at that point. Then since there is a remainder, we are going to write our remainder here, and the remainder is negative 15 at that point. So follow me. We are going to take, using synthetic division, you are going to pull this number down. You write 1 here. Negative 3 times 1, it will be negative 3. A plus negative 3, it will be a minus 3. Right? Then, to get this number here, we are going to say negative 3 times this. This is going to be negative 3a plus 9. Then if you add these two numbers, b plus this expression that we have here, we are going to have b minus 3a plus 9. Then to get this number that we shall write here, we are going to say negative 3 times this, it will be negative 3b. Negative 3 times negative 3a, it will be positive 9a. Negative 3 times positive 9, it will be negative 27. And lastly, we are going to add this and this. It must be equal to the remainder that we have here. So finally, we're going to say this is going to be minus 3b plus 9a minus 27 plus 6 is equals to negative 15. So this is 9a minus 3b. This is going to translate to 21 negative is equals to negative 15. We take this on the other side. Of course, our final answer is going to be 9a minus 3b. 9a minus 3b is equals to 6. And this becomes our equation number 2. So we have formed two simultaneous equations which ought to be solved. We have this equation here, and we have this amazing and beautiful equation, which is 6 at that point. Then we're going to say this is 4a plus 2b is equals to negative 14. And the second one is 9a minus 3b is equals to 6. Then which method can we use? We can be able to use elimination. If I want to eliminate b, I can decide to multiply here by 3. I multiply this one by 2, and of course my equation is going to reduce to what? My equation is going to reduce to 12a plus 6b is equals to this becomes 2 carry 1, and this becomes 42, negative 42, right? And if I multiply here, I get 18 A minus 6B, and this is going to be 12. If I add the two equations together, this is going to translate to 30A is equals to, this will be 0. Of course, this will run to 0. And this is going to be what? Negative 30, which means that our A is going to be -1. But if we want to find our B, we can use any of the equation. Maybe we can decide and use this equation and say that this is going to be 4 into -1 plus 2B must give us -14, which is going to be -4 plus 2B equals to -14. Then if I can take this on the other side, 2B is equals to -14 plus 4, and 2B is going to translate to -10 divided by 2 divided by 2. Our B is going to be equal to -5 as the final answer to this.